I actually have been using this slide for quite some publication talk. I'm not sure whether I have presented it in FSK or not. But anyway, if you have seen it before, just take it as revisions, okay? So everyone can hear me, right? So I think we'll start. So are you familiar with this movie, Jumanji? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, one of my favorite movie as well. So it's a very harsh game, huh? It's a very harsh game. You survive just like your publish and perish game, okay, in academic writing. Okay, so just some tips from me, some personal tips from me on surviving the publish and perish Jumanji. Okay, so this is one of the scenes in the Jumanji game, okay, whereby the Rock and the rest of friends being chased by a group of mad ostriches, okay. So that to the students, does it remind you of something? Okay, so sometimes it feels like your supervisor and boss are chasing you for papers every time, all the time, and then you are the one being chased. Okay, but I thought about this with a colleague in the medical faculty. So they are saying that whether we can turn the situation around, whereby let the student chase you for revised manuscript, you are the one running. Okay, so as you know, the publication process is a very long and tedious process. Okay, so you can see for those of you who have not submitted a paper before, so this is roughly the guideline. You complete a research project, data analysis, then you procrastinate, no mood to write. And then finally, when you gather yourself and write a result, you submit your original manuscript for your supervisor to review, and your supervisor keep your paper forever. So for the students, if you are facing problem like this, I think it is okay for you to give your supervisor a general reminder about what happened to my manuscript that I've sent to you a month ago, 3 weeks ago. Have you read it? Have you read it? Okay. If you keep quiet, supervisors, lecturers like us are quite busy. Like we have to deal with many things, teaching, researching, R&D, and also admin. So sometimes we might overlook things. So it is okay to give your supervisor a general reminder. Okay, so after some reminders, finally you receive some corrections and approval to submissions, submit to a journal. Suddenly no reviewers want to take up your manuscript, because no peer review is a voluntary job. So sometimes you might not have a peer review who want to look at your manuscript. And this is especially obvious during this COVID time. Everyone is panicking about the COVID things, and then no review is free to review a manuscript. So your manuscript is on the desk for a few months, if not weeks, and then suddenly finally have the mercy to take out the job and peer review. Sometimes you met with hostile reviewer with harsh comments, impossible to answer. But finally, you answer also. Okay, you gather yourself and answer it, and enter the second peer review. Okay, if there's major corrections, usually you need to undergo second peer review. Sometimes it got rejected. Then you menangis lah sebab everything come back together. But if you're lucky, you get accepted. But if you're sending to a traditional journal, the journal keep away forever. Because for traditional journal, you need to queue for issues and volume. That's why sometimes you wait until 1 year and finally get the paper in print with page number. But usually for open access journal, it's quite fast, and finally you get published. So in this very complicated and convoluted process, what do you think is normal time for you? I mean, from submitting a papers until it getting published. Okay, anyone have any guess? So sometimes you can wait. Yeah, if you're lucky, it's just 3 months. Okay, average it could be up to 6 months, but I wait longer. Okay, I actually wait longer for review to get published, for papers to get published. So here are some tips for me to survive this publication game. Okay, so we are going to talk about each of these points later, one by one. Okay, first, planning. Secondly, nurture a reading habit or writing habit. Make use of tool available, write, revise, repeat, and how to keep momentum going, and also strategizing your resources, time, resources, money. Okay, some of the points have been touched before in the earlier sections, but just revisions. So first thing, before you start, okay, this is important with the students as well as the lecturers as well. So usually you have to plan how many, when you apply a project and you get a fund for the project, you actually have to plan from the start how many papers can you actually publish from your project. Okay, so for the supervisors, you can also discuss with your prospective students on getting their commitment to discuss with prospective students to get a commitment during the interview for them to write during the project. Okay, so usually when I'm interviewing my prospective students for master or PhD, I'll discuss frankly with them. That's your requirement. I mean, 1 paper for master and 2 papers for PhD, but usually we expect more. So in medical faculty, we have this project called SM. We are expecting 1 research paper from them. For master, although the KPI is just 1 paper, but usually we expect more. Okay, at least 1 review paper and 1 research paper. And then PhD, at least 2 review paper and 2 research paper. Okay, this is our expectation to our students. Okay, but during interview, when you mention about this number of papers, sometimes your students feel quite stressed, okay, because most of them have no writing experience, no publication experience. So it is your duty as a more experienced one to convince the uninitiated students or even the new colleagues in your department that they can do it. Okay, so for the lecturers, students, okay, young lecturers especially, need to discuss with supervisor or mentors or seniors in departments how to initiate writing plan. Okay, secondly is to nurture a writing or reading habit. Okay, so it is very hard because sometimes you will hear about people saying that you need to read, therefore you can write, but then it is very difficult for you to read without purpose. Okay, there's so many articles published every day, so what should you pick out to read? So for me, I would recommend you to set a topic for yourself, a topic of your interest, a topic of potential research, for example, when you're planning for your next proposal. Okay, select a topic, conduct a systematic literature search like what I've taught you this morning. Download all the full text articles from your search. Okay, keep it in a folder. Create for yourself an evidence table. Okay, or Google form like I told you just now. And then read and transfer the materials to the table. Okay, so one time, no, you might be, we are busy people, okay, you have to teach and do some admin stuff, but set a goal for yourself. Maybe, let's say, maybe you can read 1 article or 2 articles a day before you left the office for home. And as you read, like I told you just now, read and transfer the materials to the table using your own words. Okay, remember to set a goal for yourself so that you can motivate yourself to keep going. Okay, the goal should be realistic, The goal should be realistic, because the commitment of each of us towards family, towards other jobs are different. So if possible, set a realistic goal for yourself. If you can't read 3 articles a day, set 2 or 1. Don't overburden yourself, because if you keep failing your goal, you become very disappointed, and then you don't want to read anymore. So organize the content. So after that, when you have quite a number of papers, you have finished screening all the articles finished extracting data, you can start to find a time to write everything that you have read and recorded in the table into papers. I'm not sure whether the Faculty of Health Sciences provide writing holiday for the lecturers. Okay, so maybe you will spend months going through all the literatures. Okay, just reading 1 or 2 and record it down 1 or 2 every day. But if you have finished your literature reading and recorded table, maybe you can apply maybe a 7-day writing holiday just to get the writing done. Okay, in the Faculty of Medicine, we have 7 days writing holiday, so you can take unrecorded leave for writing for 7 days. At the end of 7 days, you produce 1 paper. Okay, so these are some of the things that we have these are some of the things we have talked about just now. Can someone help me to admit people in the waiting room? Or just admit all. So these are some of the things that we have talked about just now. Okay, about review. Okay, review is not regurgitation of your teacher. You must critically appraise, summarize, reorganize, paraphrasing, and identify gaps and propose future research in your review. And also, it's very important to nurture a personal voice in your review articles by giving out a perspective. Okay, and define a broad but not so broad research questions for yourself, and then for you to write and need to discuss this with your supervisor and students. Okay, do something that's manageable for you, or else you'll be caught in a vicious cycle of not feeling this, cannot finish this review, you cannot move on to the next, something like that. So design a small review project for yourself so that you can accomplish and send it out. Okay, so this has been shown just now, where you can use any Excel sheet to create evidence table, and then paraphrase the findings into the table, and then later on use this table to write your review manuscript. And then you can get this reference table published in your review article, but just that maybe you need to summarize the evidence table later on, so it's not so wordy. So for some of you, maybe you are told to write a systematic review even for each review, but then again, you are exploring a new field. Like I told you just now, you are exploring a new field, so systematic review might not be possible for all of you, okay, unless there are substantial study being done on that topic. So if you are exploring a new topic or new field, maybe a structured narrative review or scoping review is more possible. And look for a journal who can accept narrative review. There was a time where journal only accept invited review, But nowadays there's a lot of places journal who can accept narrative review also. Okay, but just make sure you write quality narrative review to be accepted. Okay, or scoping review to be accepted. We have one participant, Rashikin Raslia, who cannot enter the room. Don't know why. So this is the structure of the review. I think I told you just now, so I'll just skip this stuff. And then thirdly, make use of the writing tool available. Okay, we are not living in a Flintstone era, so just make use of all the tools available to you, like Google Talk, Google Form, Google Excel sheet, Google Doc, analysis, drawing graph, drawing schematic diagram using PowerPoint, export at 300 dpi. These are the basic things. These are some of the very basic things the student should be able to grasp before they start writing. Make sure that you are familiar with all this software. Manage your references using EndNote or Mendeley. Don't manage it manually because it will cause a lot of time and stress for you. Okay, just use EndNote or Mendeley. Okay, it is a very simple software. Make sure that you have basic language editing tool like Grammarly. Okay, well, you can depend on the proofreading software inside the words, but then sometimes it's not very sensitive. So I recommend that you add a Grammarly, at least a free version of Grammarly, to be installed into your words so that it can check your language in the words. And of course, I'm sure that you have turned in facilities in the departments or in the faculty which make use of this plagiarism software as well, because in general, the journal will not accept similarity index more than 30 to 40%, or maybe 20 sometimes. Okay, so be careful, check your plagiarisms using Turnitin. Okay, be familiar with words, how to use style, tab, and also formatting objects and tables. Okay, that's the basic skill of postgraduate or even undergraduate students. Okay, so another thing is that it is all about write, revise, and repeat. You know that not all of us are started as great writers. Okay, we are not born as good writers. If I'm born a good writer, I'll be writing Hollywood script. I'll not be writing scientific writing script. Okay, I'll be writing my Hollywood script. So you don't have to be great to start, but you need to start to be great. Okay, your first draft probably will be hammered by your supervisors of your review, like myself. I mean, my first draft was terrible. Okay, then my supervisors and also my mentors commented a lot on my first manuscript. Okay, but we gradually improve. As you write more, you gradually improve. Okay, so learn from the comment from supervisors, reviewers, mentors. Okay, especially reviewers, because they are experts in the field. And for supervisors, sometimes when we get the manuscript from the students, sometimes you just want to tear it off and then write yourself. Okay, frankly sometimes you just want to throw everything away and then write yourself. Okay, but then it's a growing chance It's a growing chance for the students, so just be patient. What I want to show you is actually the one of the first draft of I think this is the papers from Chan Chin. Chan Chin is also a alumni of FSK Biomed, or currently my PhD students. This is one of the second manuscript from her. You can see these are the corrections. These are the corrections after the I don't know how many draft, third draft already. Still a lot of corrections. Okay, so it does require a lot of patience from the supervisors to correct the manuscript of the students. Okay, it requires a lot of patience. But no matter how ugly your first draft look like, it only matters when it get published. Okay, as a full article. Okay, no one care when you get published on the journal. No one care how many drafts you have, how many things you have. Just be patient for the students and the supervisors. Now, someone asked about comments from reviewers. So these are some of the examples of harsh reviewer comments that actually I received before. So some of the comments include the study offered nothing new to the field, and this is exactly how the comment are being quoted. This study offered nothing new to the field. Or the language and grammar of this manuscript hinder the comprehension of the readers. I remember one of my reviewer, this is the only comment I get from the reviewer. It didn't comment about the content, and this is the only line of comment that I received. The compound investigator is not viable in the market, so there's no point studying. So this is actually a review. I'm writing a review about tocotrienol and bone. Okay, the huge chunk of the studies that I quoted in the review are 15 years of hard work by my supervisors. And we get a comment like this: the compound investigator is not viable in the market, so there's no point studying or reviewing it. That's pretty harsh, right? All the previous animal models you use is wrong. Okay, they are commenting our research model of creating osteoporosis rat model are wrong. All this while. Is this study really necessary? Well, imagine this after you finish and complete your PhD project and the review come up with this comment: is this study necessary? I actually have one comment, one reviewer, one time, that end his comment with really at every line. Okay, it's very sarcastic, this kind of tone. Okay, so remember, if you are a reviewer, don't be too harsh to someone, okay, who is new in research. But like I said just now, okay, no comment can be harsher than a breakout line for your X or axis. Okay, favorite line by Todoroki. Okay, thank the reviewer for his or her, or you don't think reviewer is a person, its comment. Okay, ask him or ask them to reconsider comment and put forward your counter arguments. So usually there's a habit of my research group. We thank the reviewer in every line of the comment. Thank you for your suggestion. Thank you for a reminder. Okay, this is the style of us replying reviewer comments. And if you agree, then you change whatever he asks you to change. If you don't agree with the argument, also humble yourself. Okay, saying that we humbly acknowledge your comment, but we think that something. Okay, or we humbly ask the reviewer to reconsider your comment because we think that something like that. Okay, no matter how displeased of his comment, thank him first for giving that comment and be humble. Ask him to reconsider something that you disagree about. After you finish everything, responding the comment sheet, thank him or her again for the time in reviewing your manuscript. Okay. Sometimes when the manuscript is written by a master or PhD or even undergraduate students, I will actually mention at the end of the response sheet saying that this is the first manuscript by a master's students or postgraduate students. and your review is of very constructive and very useful to the students, and the publication of this paper means a lot to the students. So we look forward for a positive reply. Okay, you get it? How do you hint that the reviewer shouldn't be too harsh? Okay, and subtly hinting the reviewer that this is a student's work, so you shouldn't be too harsh. But sometimes, like what I have encountered just now, like the compile is not viable, model is wrong, is study really necessary? So some of the reviewers comments are very harsh. You feel it's not fair. So it is okay to complain to the editor of the journal. Okay. So I have experience whereby I submit a manuscript after 3 rounds of review, and one of the reviewers still hammering me on one particular things which I cannot change already. So I actually, before I replied or send in the response sheet, I actually inquired to the editor saying that I believe that I'm not fairly judged in this comment. So is there any point responding to this comment? So the editor actually encouraged me to respond, and he or she will make the final decisions. Okay, remember the editor actually has the power to decide whether to send back the comment or the manuscript for another round of review, or he or she can actually decide to accept your papers directly or not. Okay, so sometimes when you feel that you are not being fairly treated, you can communicate to the editor of the journals and see the next course of actions. If you are being ignored, okay, you can just withdraw the manuscript, okay, or you can just wait for it to be rejected and submit to another manuscript. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of manuscripts out there, journal out there, so you don't really have to cling on a certain journal. So this is my manuscript that's being commented as not being commercially viable by one of the Elsevier journal. Okay, but in the end, we did publish it. It did come out somewhere. Okay, and this is actually a study, prospective studies, in collaborations with the ONG department. This study has quite a small sample size because we have to follow the pregnant ladies for a few months. Okay. We are hoping that the vitamin D is associated with the maternal or neonatal outcome, but then again, it's negative results. And we submitted to Q1 journal, and after 4 rounds of review, we actually get accepted, which is totally out of my expectations. I thought it would be rejected, okay, immediately, but then it get accepted. So you will not know the outcome unless you try, okay. There will be hurdles here and there from reviewers, from editors, okay? But then you will not know the outcome unless you try. So keep on trying, okay? Do not be harmed, or do not be, don't be, how do I say? Don't feel offended by the reviewer. Don't take those comments personally, okay? Their comments are directed at the manuscript or the study designs, okay, but they are not directed to you as a person, so don't take the comment personally. Previously in our department, it's my seniors in my department, it's senior students who have sent the manuscript to a Q1 journal, and then you have 5 reviewers, and the review are quite harsh. That's what you expect from a Q1 journal, and then you got rejected. So that senior actually, well, he was depressed, and for 2 years she did not send any more manuscript to any other journal. Okay, and this is very sad. Okay, this is very sad. So again, don't take any comments from the reviewers personally. Take a chance to improve yourself, to improve manuscript. Okay, if the reviewer are not being fair to you, forget about it. Okay, and send to another journals. And then keep the momentum going. Okay, remember I told you just now in the beginning of the previous talk, you need to remember what's the purpose and your goal of publishing or hitting those numbers. Okay, you really need a very strong reason to sacrifice your night, sacrifice your uh, weekends, okay, sacrifice your time having fun and watching TV or Netflix and with your family to write papers. So you need a strong reason. Why do you need to sacrifice to write those papers? Is it for yourself? Is it for science? Is it for your friends, for your postdoc and things like that? Find a strong reasons for you to push on. Okay? For students or young researchers, recall your feeling when you first publish your first paper. The kind of excitement, okay? The feel of pride, okay? Proud. And hold on to that feeling and write your second, third, and fourth. Okay? I remember my first paper was published in a ISI Impact Factor 2.5 journal. I was so excited. I mean, it's not very high, but then again, it's the file, the feel excitement, okay, the feel excitement and also pride actually pushed me to write further. Okay, your reasons, there's no right and wrong for a reason. I heard people that they want to write papers and graduating from PhD to be called a doctor. Title doctor is important to him, so that's why that's the motivation for him to push on. Well, that's fine if that's your main motivations. Okay, there's no right or wrong for the reasons that you impose on yourself. Okay, but you need that to keep you motivate you to write further, to write more. Okay, so find that reason. I cannot find for you, but that's I told you my reason lah. But what is your reason? So I want to talk about writing cycle. How do you usually write one article, and then how do you proceed to the next article? So usually people write one article, submit the article, wait for peer review, revise, and wait to be accepted before you write a second article. Okay. So what this is, I'm not saying that this is wrong, okay? But for lectures where you have to publish 4 papers a year, this process is not good enough. It's not fast enough, okay? This is how I will encourage you, the writing momentum, okay? You write your first manuscript, submit your first manuscript. While waiting for peer review, write your second manuscript, submit your second manuscript, and then begin the writing of your third manuscript. Okay? That is how you get multiple manuscripts in 1 year. Okay? You can't wait. You can't just write and submit and wait it to be accepted before you begin a second paper. That would not work. Okay? You will not get, if you're lucky, you'll get 1 papers out of that year, but you will not get multiples. Okay, so submit first one, then begin your second one, submit second one, begin your third one. Okay, it's like macam bertubi-tubi lah, but that's how you get the things done. And in terms of publication time, how do you plan for this at department level? How do you plan for yourself also? How do you plan publication? So when you write in the month of January to June, please do not expect it to be published in that half the year also. Expect it to be published in June to December 2020, if not later. Okay. So if you write in why is it repeating? But anyway, so when you write in the first half of the year, please expect it to be published in the second half of the year. Okay, when you are writing for the second half of the year, please be reasonable and expect it to be published next year. Okay, So this is how after a review workshop, or when you are estimating the KPI of department, this is very important to be considered. Important point to be considered. And also, I used to keep, I used to have a whiteboard in my office. Okay, usually I'll divide the whiteboard into 5 columns. Okay, and I'll list down all the manuscripts. I'll put a heading lah. This column, manuscript in preparation, manuscript submitted, manuscript revised, manuscript in press, and publication this year. Okay, so I will put down the name of the manuscript here. As it move along, I'll move the title manuscript from here to here to here to here until it get published. Okay. So to guarantee yourself to get multiple publications in that particular year, you have to make sure there are something on every column at all time. Okay, this is a publication pipeline. Make sure there are something in every column at all time will enable you to get multiple publications in a year. Okay, but as you know, we are recently hit by the pandemic. Sometimes we have to work from home. I have no access to my whiteboard. I moved this process into online. So I created this Excel sheet or Google sheet. I write down the manuscript that's being prepared by my students or my staff, and I note down the progress of each of the manuscript and share it with my research group. Okay, so what is progress? It's very easy for you to monitor progress of the manuscript. Okay, so our manuscript are not lucky always. Sometimes we get accepted one time and get published. Sometimes rejected. That's rejections. Okay, that's rejections before it's being accepted by other publications. So you just have to keep trying. Okay, you just have to keep trying. And it's also very important for you to strategize your resources. Okay, time versus money. You should be aware of the type of journals available in the market at this moment. The traditional open access journal. For traditional journal, you don't have to pay. Okay, if your let's say faculty are not supporting the open access fees, so maybe you have to actually go for traditional journal. But again, in most of the journal house, they will list the turnaround time for all the journals. Okay, for Elsevier, for Springer at least, they will list the turnaround time from accepted, so first submission to first decisions. Okay, look for those with a rather fast turnaround time. But of course, if your faculty or CREAM can sponsor open access journal, you can go for open access. You maybe have to pay first and then claim for the faculty or CREAM later to skip queuing for the issues, because usually open access journal they will accept and then they publish quite fast because you don't have to queue for the page number. So the type of journals you have to consider, the queuing time. Okay, you have to consider if the first submissions to first decisions time is not stated in the website. Just open randomly one of the latest article and see what is the time of first submission and what is the time of acceptance. Does it take very long? Okay, just open any random article on that journal, open a few and see what is the gap between these two dates, and you will have a fairly good estimate of the turnaround time for the journal. Always consider the article processing charges. Okay, if the charges are more than what you can afford or more than the cutoff laid out but decided by the faculty or CREAM, okay, you may want to reconsider. So if you have the assistance of article processing charge grant faculty or CREAM, that will be good. If no, you just have to suit yourself with traditional journals and look for the fast one. Okay. So some open access journal are NDPI, Dot Press, or Hindawi. NDPI and Dot Press are quite fast. Okay, I recently joined Hindawi as an academic editor, and I think their process become quite slow recently. Okay, it will take around turnaround time of 2 months before, or even 3 months before your article can get the first decisions. While plus one PLJ and BMC usually a turnaround time of it will be 2 months. Okay, NDPI is 1 month, 3 weeks to 1 month. If you're lucky, maybe 2 weeks. Dot Press standard is 1 month. Okay, Elsevier, Whaley, Springer, Taylor, and Francis, their waiting time varies lah. Okay, you have a fast one which can whereby you can get a decision within 1 month. There are slower ones where you get to wait decision for 3 months to 1 year. Okay, it's very hard to say for this traditional journal. Now all of these journal have hybrid options where you can actually publish your article as a traditional access, closed access, or you can publish it open access. But then for major publisher like Elsevier, the publication fee, open access fee are quite high, can be up to 3,000 USD. Okay, there will be more than what we can afford, even the institution can afford. Okay, so just to illustrate as an example, a slow one. This is published in one of the BMC journal. Okay, negative result, but again, it got published. Received 12 November 2013, accepted 14 February 2015. You see the problem? That is, I think that one of the reasons is that there's no reviewer who are willing to take out the job. Okay, and there are some problem with the journal as well, and get published in 2015. From acceptance to publication is quite fast, but then received to acceptance is so slow. Yeah. The second journal is current drug targets. One of the Bentham publisher. This was submitted to a special issue. It was accepted, available online on 2015, published in print 2018, because queuing for the special issue. So this is very important for the students, especially those students waiting for papers to sit for Viva. Do not expect you to submit one papers and get please do not expect yourself submitting a paper and then you can get a reply or acceptance within 3 months. Okay, submit multiple. Okay, submit multiple 2, 3, so that at least by the time of your Viva, you will get at least one accepted. Okay, it's very hard to guess. Okay, which one will be accepted first. Lastly is to actually build a writing culture in your department. Okay, setting up a reasonable publication goal for department or for the faculty, and provide appropriate motivations for the department members or your research group to write. Okay, because of the variations in individuals' commitments to the family and to other commitments, maybe a second job or something like that. Do not compare apple to orange. Okay, this student might be working part-time as something else to gather his fees. The other students is not. So make appropriate comparison. Don't compare. Actually, don't compare. Just set a reasonable goal that's individualized, okay, to the capability of the students. Okay, avoid unfair comparisons. Avoid unhealthy competitions in your setting. Okay, don't backstab each other. Okay, and whatever the game is, whatever the race is, always adhere to ethics in the publications. Okay, do not plagiarize, do not falsify results, do not modify images. Okay, do not selectively publish your result and things like that. Some of the collaborations among colleagues, students, or lecturers, you can cross-check each other manuscript, collaborate to write papers. For example, it's very difficult for you to meluangkan masa untuk complete one review paper. Maybe you can delegate the task within a few colleagues and then collaborate to write review papers. Maybe you can share journal submission experience. Okay, share some experience to your colleagues or students, which are journal who are fast to publish, which are slower to publish. Okay, and between supervisor and students, the supervisor should always spend time reading students' work. Okay, I remember my supervisor, Prof. Ima, was the deputy dean of research and innovation at Faculty of Medicine at that time. There's a lot of work. I believe Prof. Sitibalkis will agree so. But she is committed to reading our manuscript and will be always to give feedbacks within 1 week. Okay, that's something that I really admire Prof. Ima. Okay, he always have time to read our manuscript. Although sometimes when we push too hard, he say thank you, but no thank you. Yeah. So give timely feedback for students and support. Okay. When sometimes lecturers are too busy, as I said just now, the students should also remind the supervisors too. Let's say if your manuscript are being swept under the carpet for 3 weeks or 1 month or few months without any news, give a friendly reminder to your supervisors, ask about the progress. Okay, sometimes we need a reminder too because we are just busy. Okay, and set reasonable goal for your students. Okay, I'm not saying that every student can be like Vaisura, publishing 5-6 article throughout the PhD or master, or like Dr. Wong just now published 10 article in her PhD course. Look at the capability and capacity of students and set a reasonable goal. At least two to get a PhD. Maybe more. Okay, maybe more. That will be good for the student's career pathway because now it's very tight competitions to get a lecturer's job in the university. So a higher number of publication will actually enhance your CV to get a job. Okay, that's why I always told my students. The last tip is actually don't wear yourself out. Okay, this is a very tiring game. Okay, sometimes I also wonder why am I playing this game? What do the number matters? Okay, but remember, I think this is I will quote Dr. Roh here: love yourself first. Okay, I think that's I still remember during my degree years, Dr. Roh here always tells us, love yourself first. Okay, above anything. Okay, do not wear yourself out in this publication game. Okay, so thank you. That's my sharing. I think I overshot sometimes. Okay, but yeah, just go ahead and type your questions. Or just a moment, I forgot another thing. Am I still sharing the screen? Just a moment. You can still see my screen, right? This is some actually treats for you. You can see all this Trello board address. Okay, I'm going to copy this address into the chat later, and you can open the link. In this Trello board, I'll stop share first. In the Trello board are some useful resources for you. There are 3 Trello board there. Okay, they are linked to 3 Trello board. It's just like a notice board They are created for my department actually, but then I think I might just share with everyone. Okay, for one of the Trello board is actually a link to journal identifier. Sometimes you write a manuscript, you don't know where to send, right? So there are actually journal identifier in each of the journal website. Okay, you can just paste a title and an abstract of your manuscript into this journal finder, and they will suggest what are the best journal for you to submit, and you can also compare the turnaround time of each journal. There are also some resources about predatory journals, mail lists to identify predatory journals, and also some information like journal delisted for Scopus, something like that. I have a second Trello board. is about tips on writing. Okay, so there are some links, YouTube video, some PDF about tips on writing. We are still trying to enrich the content of the Trello board, the notice board. So let's say you have anything that you want to share. Let's say you have articles about writing or tips on writing you want to share, or good video about how to write manuscript. Do send to me and I'll update in this Trello board. Okay, so that it can be accessed by everyone. Lastly, we have a Trello board. This is actually targeted to my department members. Okay, so because some of the new lecturers, they don't know where to submit, they need some recommendations in terms of the journals, and this is our experience with certain journals. Okay, which one are fast, which one open access cost is very high, which turnaround is slow, and things like that. Okay, and again, we are still trying to enrich this Trello board so that everyone can be benefited. Of course, we also value your input. Let's say you have anything interesting about tips on writing you want to share, you can email to me, WhatsApp me, so that I can just update the board so everyone can be benefited from this board. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll send the slides. We look now. Yeah, open to ask any questions. You can unmute yourself or you leave comments in the chat. So first question from Shah. I'd like to ask something on journal turnaround time. How do you check turnaround time? NDPI, yeah, you notice that I publish a lot in Frontiers, Dove, and NDPI because they are quite fast. Okay, they are quite fast. Dove, I told you just now, Dove take about 1 month from submission to first decision. NDPI take about weeks, just 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. Frontiers could be a bit slower. Okay. For Frontiers, it can take standard time 2 months or 3 months. Okay. Dove Press, I told you already. Okay. Asthma, lists of there are lists of research questions. Do I need to choose which one is most suitable based on my capacity? What are the toxic effects of bisphenol? Toxic effect of bisphenol on male reproductive system, toxic effects of bisphenol on steroidogenesis, and toxic effect of bisphenol F on steroidogenesis. So for asthma, I would say that it depends on the research. There are several forms of bisphenol, A, S, P, or BADGE. They are all different types of bisphenol. So it depends on the extent from the research, how many evidence you can find for different form of bisphenol. F, S, P, batch. Okay, and the aspect of male reproductive system, because when you talk about just reproductive system, it can be male or female. When we talk about just male reproductive system, it's more than just hormone genesis, androgen productions. It's also about the health of the sperms and things like that. So again, you need to check in your literature whether there are many literature or not. If there are too many, maybe you can just focus on steroidogenesis, androgen productions, or you want to check about sperm health. If it's not, if you want to be comprehensive, you can cover both subjects at the same time. Okay, but it depends on your timeline. It depends on your time also, how much effort you want to put in it. Yeah, 6 months to 1 year, everyone. It takes 6 months to 1 year to publish your article. Okay. Can I be a single author for a paper or scoping review? You can't. I tried that multiple times because because it's just me wanting to learn about a subject, so I just write it out and then send it and it got published. You can. It's not wrong, but you cannot claim the comprehensiveness of your thing because it's based on your own opinion. Okay, I would recommend at least 2 or 3 authors, so that everyone can reach agreements on the inclusions of papers. But if you can prove that your search is comprehensive, I think I tried journals who can accept that, and I published several articles as a single author. But students, I will not encourage. Students, you must always publish together with lecturers. Is there any minimum papers to be reviewed in the articles? You are referring to the scoping reviews, perhaps? There's no set of review. There are no set of numbers to be reviewed in the article, but the core references I said just now, perhaps I will encourage at least 10 to 20, something like that, which is a manageable number. Okay, not too many, so that you don't spend too much time on that. Okay, but 10 to 20, I think, is a manageable amount that for a student can write. Okay, and I tried them multiple times. Another person asks how many pages and how many references for paper scoping review depend on how extensive of your how extensive or how big is a review. For a mini review, 60 to 120, that is sufficient. For mega review, it can go up to 300. Okay, especially the scope is quite wide. Okay, but then I don't encourage a mega review if you are understaffed and you are writing it alone. Just establish a narrow enough RQ so that you can manage yourself. Okay, the record and also the slide will be sent to you. No worries. Okay, don't chew in my slide. That's all. Okay. Yeah, I will be able to send the second session with the PPT. Okay. Other journal, there are some other journals in the Elsevier or Springer, which with a very fast turnaround time, but you have to explore yourself. For example, Biomedicine and Pharmacotherapy, which is an open access journal in Elsevier, claim that the turnaround time is 21 to 25 days. Okay, but the open access fee for Biomedicine and Pharmacotherapy is around, I think, 10K plus ringgit Malaysia. There's also another journal called In Vivo. If those of you are doing cancer study, that will be very nice journal. In Vivo, the turnaround time is 3 weeks. Okay. There are also other turnaround journal with very fast turnaround time in the big journal house, but you just have to explore yourself. Okay, I can't name them one by one, but NDPI and also DOPRESS are quite standard, 3 weeks and also 1 month. Phone number, no worries, you can get from Rahida and also Prof. Pakis. The turnaround time can be checked in the journal website. Maybe I think I will take some time to show you where can you check the turnaround time. Okay. Okay. Or maybe I can just use the resources we have here, which is the journal identifier, Elsevier journal identifier. Copy this link, put it in your Google or whatever. It will reach the Elsevier journal finder. Put a paper title. Let me find a paper. Okay, also put your abstract lah. Okay, put your abstract. You copy your abstract and paste here, and then just find journals. So you can see in the Elsevier, it will recommend based on the keywords and title. Everyone can see, right? Okay, I hope you can see it. If not, just let me know you can't see the screen. So you will know the impact factor of each journal, acceptance rate, which is very important. Okay, and also time to first decisions, meaning that when you submit until you get your first decision is 6 weeks, which is quite fairly good enough. Okay, and also from time of acceptance to publication is 16 weeks. So once your article is accepted until you get a page number is 16 weeks. So I'm not sure whether it's quite slow actually. This is quite slow. But there are so many options you can choose. This is no time to first decision is just 4 weeks, but no impact factor. So you might not want to try this. Again, this one research in veterinary science, impact factor 1.8, time to first decision 6 weeks is quite okay for me. And then publication 7 weeks. Okay, from acceptance to publication 7 weeks. Okay, that is quite okay also. No, this is fast. Archives of Biochemistry and Biophysics, impact factor 3.3, quite low acceptance, 28% only. Time to first decision, from submission to first decision 3 weeks, which is quite fast, okay, on par with NDPI. And then time to publication is 3 weeks also. So this is also very fast. Okay, so the list is quite long. This one, no, time to first decision is 3 weeks, but time to publication 40 weeks. Meaning that this journal have a very huge backlog. Okay, a lot of article to be queued into issues and also volume. Okay, so this might be this might discourage you to submissions. Okay. So the other So the other, how do I say, the other journal finder will also do the same. Okay, this is from Stranger. Again, bone vitamin E osteo. Copy the same here. This is Springer. Okay, so they will also let you know the impact factor, the first decision to the submission to first decisions rate is 27 days, quite fast. Okay, and because it's no impact factor, maybe it's not no impact factors, the acceptance rate is as high as 88%. This is actually bone and mineral metabolism without impact factor. If it's corpus, then I'm actually interested. 88% acceptance rate. Biological trace element research, I think I've seen Dr. Razina's papers here, is it? So first decision rate is 22 days, acceptance rate is 33%. So this will give you a fairly good estimate lah, okay, on the time from submissions to times of getting your first decisions. Okay, I think the same for every journal website, so you can make use of the link that I listed here to find a suitable journal for your manuscript. Okay, and they will give you the recommendation in terms of impact factor and also time from submissions to first decisions time. Okay, where is the
Dr. Gabriel, can I ask a question, please?
Yes, but your voice is quite slow. I can't hear.
Sorry. When you say impact factor, right, I also see in Journal Finder, I'm also doing for my topic right now.
Yeah.
It only says impact factor. So if I want to know whether it's a Q1, Q2, or Q3, how do I know that? And what is the difference between impact factor and Q1, Q2,
Q3? The impact factor, okay, there are many types nowadays. There are many types of impact factor. They are by different agency, okay, but for UKM we only recognize impact factor given by journal citation report. Okay, just let me stop sharing first, and then I will show you the how to look for impact factor. Stop sharing. So I want to share again. Can you see this website, which is a journal citation report? You can access this website from Gemilang, okay? Gemilang UKM e-journal portal. Type your password and also ID, and then you can find journal citation report. Enter to this journal citation report and type in the journal name, okay? So remember, for in UKM, we only recognize impact factor 2 years back from the year of publication of that manuscript, meaning that if the manuscript article is being published in 2020, we recognize the impact factor from 2018, okay, 2 years back. So you have to click the 2 years back with impact factor, which is 4.36. Now it search the rank of the journal. So the rank of journal at 2018 is Q1, but 2019 Q2. But if your article is published in 2020, and you can recognize impact factor from 2 years back, so it is still considered Q1 by the UKM. So what is the impact of Q ranking to you as a student? Okay, actually for me, it doesn't matter whether you publish in Q1 or Q4, but then Q is like a measure of reputation of the journals. Q1 and Q2 journals are more reputable journals because a lot of people are citing them, okay? And Q3 and Q4 are not to say less reputable, but then maybe less people are citing them. So the implication is that Q1 or Q2 journal will get a lot of submissions, and it's harder to get in. But for the rigor of peer review, whether reviewers are fussy or not, my experience is that Q1, Q4 reviewer could be as fussy as Q4, Q3 reviewers can be as harsh or as fussy as Q1, Q2 journals peer reviewer. Okay. In terms of claim of publication fee, your, let's say, the cream ganjaran penerbitan, okay, and things like that, you can reward more for Q1, Q2 journals because their marks in MyRA is higher. The marks for Q1, Q4, Q3, and Q4 are lower. Okay, so you can also reward researcher differently according to the rank of the journal. And also maybe your CV will look better lah if you publish in Q1, Q2 because they are reputable journals. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Gabriel.
Yeah. There are many sites that offer impact factor. We only recognize journal citation report. Do not go to other websites for impact factor. Let's say Simago. Simago is also another indexing agency, but also give out score which look a lot like impact factor. But this is not the impact factor that you can recognize. Okay. So this also give you a journal citation score, 1.4. This is not the impact factor or the Q ranking that you can recognize. We only recognize journal citation report. So do pay attention. Huh? So let's see the chat, whether there are other questions. There are many journals for research article, however, for scoping review, manuscript publication always by invitation and less chance. Um, for highly reputable journal, let's say some of the Q1 journal, which have clearly stated that review is by invitation only, so don't go ahead and submit to them. Okay. Some of the highly recognized journal also, they only want review by expert rather than students, so don't go there as well. So go to journals who publish a lot of reviews. Okay, it doesn't have to be by invitations. Most of the NDPI journals would accept random reviews, okay, by students, by young researchers, as long as it's well written. Okay. NDPI journal now have a lot of Q1 now, so they tend to be a bit fussy. Although they are fast, they can be a bit fussy nowadays. Okay. So let's just go around. You can look out my publications and look at the journals where I send my reviews. Okay. And those publisher are the one who can accept reviews. Okay. Not by invitations. Asma, this one, if systematic review done on same topic I'm going to do, there's a systematic review already. It is done on 2010, but now by default there's an update about it. What's the options? So it is best for you to mention in your introductions. Okay, Asma say that she's writing a systematic review. The latest systematic review that you could find online is actually from 2010. So she want to write the same topic, but an update. So he intend to include studies from 2010 to 2020. Okay. So it is important for you to acknowledge that previous systematic review in your introduction, saying that the latest systematic review that we found from literature search is actually from 2010. And a lot of studies have been published within a gap of 2010 to 2020. So I think it is high time for us to evaluate the latest update on this field. Okay, so that would be a best excuse for you to review the latest 10 years or whatever years in between the last systematic review to the current research, to your current review. The difference between impact factor, Q1, Q2, okay, mentioned already. Has been informed that those journals that send emails to call for paper, the acceptance rate is quite very low because the journal just want to increase the rejection rate. I don't, I actually can't comment on that. Okay. I'm not sure why the impression is like that, but I can't really comment on that. Whether the journal purposely send out invitations just to increase in rejection rate. I do know that open access journal tend to advertise a lot to attract people to submit to increase their income, more so for predatory journal. But I can't really get a comment on that whether it's just to increase the rejection rate. Okay. Yeah, you check journal for journal finder and you check JSCR. Yes, that's correct. How do I determine the review is qualified for Q1, Q2? Benchmark your review against reviews published in Q1, Q2 journals. Whether it's comprehensive or just surface, okay? Or whether what you talk about in your review is very surface, it's no critical appraisal, and there's no insight from your reviews. Yeah, so I think it's good for if you are a beginner, try to read reviews from Q1, Q2 to get a sense what kind of review they want. Okay, and then benchmark your reviews with those published in Q1, Q2. As an editor, I would expect, apart from summarizing the previous research, the author will be able to offer their own insight into the field and guide further research and use a review to help readers to plan for further research. Okay, these are the criteria I look for in a Q1 Q2 review journal. You get some new insight, not just summary of what has been done. Okay. NDPI also expensive. I agree with you, Dr. Prof. Razia. Is very expensive now, and the rate of increasing their IPC is so quick. When I start submitting for NDPI, I started with 1,400 USD. Now it has been increasing up to 2,300 USD in some journal. Okay. Frontiers, again, Frontiers, full papers can cost up to, full papers meaning a full research paper or full review paper, it can goes up to 15K US ringgit Malaysia, okay, which is too much for me actually. It's too much. Even my faculty who can help with APC, they can help up to 10K only, they can't help up to 15K. So the secret is that for Frontiers Journal, I would recommend you to write mini review, because in Frontier Journal, mini review costs less. Usually within less than 10K I can settle with mini review in Frontiers. But full review or full research article, it can cost up to 15K. Again, you can actually submit requests to editor or the publisher to ask for waiver. Okay, because Malaysia is a upper middle income country, the reviewer will not, the publisher maybe will not give you full waiver. Okay, full waiver is those for those underdeveloped countries, but anything between 10% to 50% is good enough. Okay, for dog press, I always get 10%. Okay, Frontiers, we have experience getting like 20-25%. Okay, BMC, in most of the open access journal, they'll ask you to confirm whether you can pay or not before you can submit. Okay. Yeah, Prof. Razia, we have actually I have a Trello board which I list down some of the potential journal with fairly good enough acceptance rate and also reasonable APC lah. Okay. Which I will share with you. Okay. But again, these certain rates and APC fees, they changes with time. So the information shared on the Trello board could be obsolete in a few months' time. We are not sure unless I have to check again. Okay. If there's a research done at another country but firstly done in my country and is contributed to research issue here, and even that is a descriptive study or qualitative study, is it still qualified for Q1, Q2? That you have to justify properly in the introductions lah. Dr. Aini from JPD actually published something on the perceptions of vitamin D of office women in Malaysia, and it was accepted by Q1 or Q2 journals. So it is still possible. Okay, it's still possible, but you need to select your journal and you try a few journal, okay, and see the feedback. Okay, I cannot speak on behalf of the journals whether they will accept you, but then there's a chance. Okay, even it is a study that is contributing to issues back in Malaysia. For example, because I'm working on bone osteoporosis, so when I select journals published by International Federation of Osteoporosis, there are 3 tiers of their journals. So the first tier journal, Q1, is actually reserved for issues that will impact globally. Okay, so for second tier journal, Archives of Osteoporosis, is actually reserved for issue dealing with regional issues of osteoporosis like Malaysia. Okay, still a Q2 journal, you know. So so it is possible, but you just have to be familiar with the journals and see whether you accept your publications. Okay, or else you can try local. I say just now, you can try local or regional journals with impact factor. Okay, try journal with impact factor first before you go for Scopus only. Okay, this is the policy of UKM nowadays. Any more questions? Any more questions? You can just unmute yourself, or you can just write down your question in the chat group. Anyway, I will put this link in the chat.
Dr. Gabriel?
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Marcus here.
Hi.
Is it true that only those who get the invitation can publish in scoping review?
No, depend on the journal. For top tier journal, of course, they will only welcome reviews, invited review. But then there are plenty of open access journal who can accept review sent at random. Review written by students, review written by young researcher. There are plenty of open access journal who can publish that. But for top tier journal, very reputable journal, they only accept reviews by invitation. There's nothing that you can do lah.
And how do we know that journal? Usually journal will accept for research article, right? So how do we know that the journal will accept the review article?
You
Because
have to look at the instructions for authors. They will mention the type of articles they will accept, or you can open the any of their recent issue to see whether their issues contain any reviews or not. But just to be sure, you can look at the review. But sometimes they also mentions, well, if the author wish to submit a review, they might need to communicate with the editor first, and the editor will judge whether your review is worth publishing or not. One example is actually PeerJ. PeerJ is a multidisciplinary journals, Q2, something like Science Malaysia, publish everything, Q2, and then the review policy is that you need to communicate with the editorial house first if you wish to submit a review. Okay. Should we ask for waiver during cover letter or after acceptance? I would prefer you ask the waiver during the start, during submissions. Some of the open access journal now, they have a separate section. During submission, there is a option for you to ask for waiver. Okay. For Frontiers, you need to write to their journal house or the Frontiers publisher to ask for waiver. But usually, if after acceptance you ask waiver, they will consider lah, but they will delay your acceptance. So if you are sure that you can't pay the full amount, why don't you just start asking from the start when you're doing submissions? And usually, journal will promise that they promise that you asking waiver will not affect the decisions of your journal. If it is good, they'll give you waiver and publish your article. So how is the best way to ask for fee waiver or discount? Should we be honest and say that we cannot afford it? It is not good to say that you cannot pay a single cent, but it is good if you can just pay. You can pay a portion, because for Malaysians, it's a bit hard to ask for full waiver because we are not underdeveloped country. So but to ask for 10 to 20% or even 50% is quite reasonable, and you can usually say that maybe these studies, we have finished a grant in this study, so we might not have sufficient amount to pay for the open access fee in full. So we request the journal house to give us maybe 10, maybe 50% discount. Okay. Or maybe say that you are students. Okay. and this is your first paper, so if the journal house could give you a waiver, you'll help a career in a tremendous way. Okay. Sample papers on scoping review, you can just type scoping review in the PubMed or Scopus, and I believe that there are many example papers there. Okay. Most of the journal do not submit. Most of the journal don't accept submitting the same manuscript already submitted elsewhere at the same time. I'm not sure about the context here. Are you saying that you have one manuscript and you want to submit to multiple journals at the same time? That is forbidden. Okay, that's clearly forbidden, and don't play with, you will get banned by the publisher. Okay, so only submit to one journal at a time. Okay, and only submit to one journal at a time. Don't submit concurrent to multiple journal. Let's say your manuscript is being rejected by one publisher. Yes, you can submit to another journals. Sometimes when the journal drag too long, 6 months, not a single word, usually the period I will give to journal is like 2 months time, 2 or 3 months time lah. After 2 or 3 months, there's no single word, I will ask the editor what happened to my manuscript. Okay, if they don't reply after several reminders, I will withdraw the manuscript and submit to another journal. But you need to give them the withdrawal email or withdrawal letter first, indicating clearly that you don't want to continue with the process, you want to withdraw, and then you are free to submit. Okay, email them the submission withdrawal letter or withdrawal email first, okay, before you submit to another journals. If they didn't reply, yeah, I do encounter that problems sometimes. If they don't reply, as long as you have already give your withdrawal email as a proof, you can show that you have your timestamp withdrawal letter or email, that should be fine. We do have journal who don't respond to our request for withdrawal, but you need to prove that you have already asked for withdrawal in the first place. Anything else? How much time should I wait for them to reply? From submissions to, if there's your first submissions, I will give a journal to have like 2-3 months for turnaround time to give me the first decisions. If you realize that your submission is being stuck with the journal and the status hasn't changed other 3 months, then you should ask the editor for clarifications. Okay, or even if you have seen your articles being stuck at the editorial desk without sending for peer review after 1 month or 1 month and a half or 2 months, you should ask for clarification also. Why is my manuscript being stuck at the editor desk and not sent for reviews? Sometimes it's because the editor have difficulty finding you suitable reviewers. We have tried that. Okay, for example, BMC, because I'm one of the editor for BMC, associate editor, not the big editor, a small editor only. Once we accept a task, we have to invite at least 15 to 20 reviewers, because most of them will reject, and these rejections to review cause a lot of delay in handling your manuscript. Okay, so for those of you out there who is capable of reviewing manuscript, please, when journal asks you to review, take out the task. Okay, this is to help others. One thing, if you as a students, postgraduate students, if you receive invitation to review a journal should you accept? My stand is that if you think that you have certain knowledge on that topic and that you have write a few articles before, you know what is the basic structure of the article, original research article, review article, and you have some basic knowledge on that particular field, I do encourage you to stand up and take up the reviewing job. Okay, if you are being asked by a let's say a journal with impact factor lah. You are bound to accept a lot of invitation from predatory journal and predatory conference as well. Those you just ignore. Okay. How many papers should I have for preparing a systematic review? I know you have been receiving some teaching saying that you can do it with 2-3 reviews, 2-3 core evidence, but I don't encourage it. If it's just only 2-3, I would say that this field is underdeveloped and it's not suitable for a systematic review. Anything above 5 should be okay. Yeah, 4, 5 should be 4, 5, 6 should be okay for systematic review lah. Scoping review require more. Okay. Asma again, some tips on reminder for those who is first timer in writing papers. What kind of tips? Ini boleh jadi satu lagi webinar which take 3 hours. First rule is actually to start. Just start writing, okay? Don't wait yourself to be good. You need to start writing to be good, okay? And then also try you can take out a article that you like the most and then try to mimic its style, not plagiarizing but mimic its style of writing. Okay, but on topic of how to write original research article and also what are the things that first timers should take note in preparing manuscript, that really will take out another 3 hours. Okay, if your first submission being rejected, do you revise your manuscript based on the review comment and send to a journal? Yes, that's definitely yes. That will significantly improve your manuscript. And you might encounter the same reviewer in your submission because maybe he's an expert in the field, so every manuscript will go to him. So yes, you need to revise your manuscript based on the review comments even though it's rejected before you send to another manuscript, because there's a chance that you will encounter the same reviewer, and it is not improved, he will easily reject you directly. Yeah. What tip? Ziana, just a moment. More about the tips. Okay. As students, what is your advice on time management and what do we have when we have to work on proposal, manuscript, and keep on reading and data collections? First important thing I think is to set yourself a reasonable goal. Okay. When you have a reasonable goal, it's easier for you to envision what you want to achieve within certain time frames. Okay. So prepare yourself a checklist, or students, prepare yourself a checklist, and also what are things you wish to accomplish within that limited period of time. Okay, so maybe you had dig out some references and you want to finish reading it in 2 months time, then set yourself a goal of, let's say, 2 papers. You have to do 2-3 papers a day, and then move towards your bigger goal. So you can also break out your bigger goal into smaller goals, so it is easily achievable in a single day or single week, to give you the satisfaction of achieving a goal. Because if you just look at the big goal, sometimes publish 1 paper, that's sometimes very hard to achieve. So break down your big goals into smaller goals so that you can achieve something every day and every week, and don't stop. Okay. Maybe sometimes you have so many commitments at home, with your family, with your boyfriend, girlfriend, okay, with your work, second job, okay. Tally your goal that suit your time lah, okay, so that at least you can achieve something every day or every week to give you satisfactions, and you can see yourself moving towards the big goal. Okay. Or simpler terms, don't stop moving. Okay, even you have to crawl. Okay, to reach your destinations. How can I get the gaps for my research project? Read about the papers published in your field of interest and get a trend, get a sense of what is lacking in the field. Sometimes when you read a research paper, original research paper, the authors will often highlight their limitations in conducting those studies. So you can actually take that as a research gap. And also you can also read other reviews as well. Okay, for students, first-timer students, it's very important for you to read reviews, narrative or systematic or expert review, to get a sense what is happening. Okay, what is happening in this field. Sometimes in those good reviews as well, they will mention to you what is actually lacking in that research field, and you can dwell in that research gap and see how your research will fill in the gaps. Okay, and also you can discuss this with your supervisor as well. So for the postgraduate researcher, remember that you are not alone in your project is by yourself, but then you are not alone. When you have problem or you feel depressed, always tell your supervisors. Your supervisor too busy to pay attention to you, share with your other supervisors or share with your colleague. Don't depress, okay, and do nothing. What is the percentage of rate for the manuscript comparison? Is there a specific rate of similarity index? We call it not percentage of plagiarism, but percentage of similarity in turning in. UKM, we usually apply a similarity index of less than 30%. Okay, when PPS detect 30% similarity in your thesis, maybe they will reject your thesis. But then for journal, it's very hard. It's very hard to say what is the rate that is acceptable by them. Sometimes we do get let's say sometimes researchers have a big study and they broke the big study into multiple smaller study, so they are bound to have similarity in terms of methodology, right? So sometimes the similarity can go up to 40%, and usually the journal will ask the authors what happened, why the similarity is so high even before reaching the stage of editorial. So if you can properly justify why it's very high similarity up to 40%, because big study broken into smaller studies, also they are overlapping methodology, just like the other papers, sometimes it is acceptable. But I would recommend at least less than 30% for original research article. I've met my friends in Indonesia, their university accept 20% only. Okay, so I think for me a range between 20 to 30% is acceptable. For review article, yeah, less than 30%. Yeah, that will be good. From Shah, recently I got a paper rejected by editor after first round of revisions. In fact, 2 of the reviewers accepted it and 1 of the reviewer rejected it due to some statistical concern. I feel that the 3rd reviewer who rejected it got misunderstood your statistical flow in the paper. Should I appeal it and send it to editor, or should I send it to another journal? Actually, that depends on how badly you want your paper to appear in that journal. I cannot guarantee you that the editor will accept it this route. If you want it very much, you can attach your response and comment. You can attach the comments from the reviewers and your response, and send it together with a cover letter to the same journal. Okay, if you want it to be published in that journal very much, especially when it's a Q1 lah. Okay. Sometimes the editor who receives the paper might consider it. Okay, but there's no guarantee, or else you can just send to another journal. Oh, Mutadil, where are you? Where are you from, Mutadil? I sent the link to my Trello board in the chat, so you can copy the link and put it in the browser and look at the informations provided lah. Okay, so if you have interesting material to share with me regarding writing tips, maybe journals recommendations, maybe some information on predatory journals and how to select journals, do share to me and I'll update it in the Trello board. Okay, this is to share informations lah. Okay, I originally developed them for the use of our department, but I think it can be shared by many. It can be used by many people, so I just share it with everyone. Any more comment? Okay, Iraq. So in case you need some how do I say, tips for first timer or novice researcher on writing tips from for scientific writing, from preparing the manuscript to submitting to journals, it will be a separate webinar, I guess. Yeah. No, I'm more than happy to give a webinar like this. Yeah. And the materials are available. Any more comments or any more questions? Everyone look very enthusiastic, so Prof. Alkis will expect some positive reaction from you lah in writing papers and things like that.
Hello doktor, kalau
Ya.
tak ada minta
Any more question?
Alkis
Ada
untuk
soalan
bagi
lagi?
kata akhir lah.
Ada soalan lagi daripada pelajar atau daripada pesyarah? Ada lagi?
Someone share the advertisement of this talk until Young Scientist Network Malaysia.
Alright. So saya rasa kalau tak ada sebarang pertanyaan lagi, so bagi pihak fakulti kita mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih pada Dr. Gabriel. Saya rasa satu pencerahan yang sangat-sangat bermanfaat kepada semua, sama ada kepada pesyarah ataupun pelajar. Pelajar siswazah, pelajar prasiswazah pun ada di sini. Saya difahamkan pelajar prasiswazah pun ada, terutamanya sebab kita musim COVID ni kita tak pasti sama ada pelajar boleh masuk makmal atau tidak. Jadi kemungkinan mereka terpaksa membuat scoping review dan sebagainya. Jadi kalau tiada bagi pihak, so terima kasih banyak-banyak. Dan tadi ada yang kata untuk tips for the beginner, right? Untuk nak adakan. So nanti kita boleh bincang, kita boleh bincang dan kita bersama Dr. Gabriel sama ada untuk mengadakan tips for the beginner. So buat masa sekarang ni saya rasa webinar adalah lebih sesuai berbanding dengan face to face, ya. Okey. Katakan Dr. Gabriel ada rakan yang nak mungkin ada scoping review, unfinished scoping review, mungkin nak minta pendapat Dr. Gab dan menghubungi secara personal untuk tolong menyemak manuskrip mereka, boleh ke?
Boleh.
Ya. Kontak secara peribadi lah, ya.
Kontak secara peribadi, email ke apa ke boleh je.
Okey, mungkin Dr. Gab boleh tengok sama ada the flow of ideas, cara penulisan dan sebagainya. Terutama kepada yang baru nak membuat scoping review, ya. Okey, mohon untuk ini ada kehadiran, dan kalau tidak ada apa-apa, saya rasa semua orang boleh unmute dan kita berikan tepukan kepada Dr. Gabriel secara serentak. Is it okay?
Ya.
Okey, semua orang tunjuk muka masing-masing. Ya, show your face. Okay.
Kat ni kat belakang ni. Nampak tak? Sini mas.
Okey. Okey, kalau tu kita berikan tepukan kepada Dr. Gabriel serentak sebagai ucapan terima kasih untuk saya rasa suatu webinar yang sangat bermanfaat kepada semua. 1, 2, 3. Ya. Okey, dengan itu kita mengakhiri webinar kita, dan jika ada sebarang persoalan saya rasa boleh juga menghubungi Dr. Gabriel secara melalui supervisor kalau bagi pelajar, ya. Sebaik-baiknya melalui penyelesaian masing-masing, ya. Okey, itu terima kasih semua. Dr. Gab, thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting. Thank you, Prof. Okay, good luck to all of you for your future undertaking. Okay. Hope this difficult time will pass soon and your research work can resume. Okay.
Yeah. So Dr. Gab boleh jadi role model untuk alumni, ya, untuk alumni kita, which is very fantastic, can publish a lot within few years. Okay, so terima kasih banyak-banyak, ya.
Assalamualaikum. Also I started from there, FSK.
Yeah.
I want to thank all my lecturers also. Yeah, it's a very privilege to come back and speak to you all. Yeah.
I think I also need to learn from you a lot in terms of article writing, especially scoping review. Right? I did a few, tapi I think I don't have enough knowledge. So still need to learn more, but unfortunately I cannot follow the whole webinar in and out. So I have to attend. Okay, so thank you very much. So I have to leave. Yeah, terima kasih banyak-banyak semua. So harap ilmu yang diberikan manfaat kepada kita semua, ya. Dan boleh berbincang dengan supervisor masing-masing, ya, mengenai topik-topik scoping review yang nak ditulis, ya. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, bye.
Bye, thank you Dr. Gabriel.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, Dr. Gabriel.
Yeah, same.
Thank you, Dictor. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Welcome everyone.
Nice to meet you virtually.
Oh, Gary, now.
Thank you, Doctor.
Take care.
Take care, Gary. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Yeah. Thank you, Kak. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you.